and my friend, the Minority Whip.
I thank the gentleman for yielding, and Mr. Speaker, really just wanted to yield back to the Majority Leader to inquire as to the calendar for the remainder of this week. The bills that we just finished voting on go through the rest of the bills that were on the schedule, so since there is no schedule that we see before us, if the Majority Leader could tell us what to expect next after this last vote.
I thank the gentleman for this opportunity to inform the members of where we are. So many of us have been through this process before, and I know that every member wants to have as much certainty about the schedule as possible, but also every member understands that when we're at a period of time when we're trying to leave for a week and we have important legislation to do, that these events sometimes drag out. So the schedule is this. We're going to break, after the next vote, we're going to break for dinner. Members will be on notice that they will receive 1 hour notice if we are going to return. As the House knows, we are scheduled to meet tomorrow as well, which we intend to do, so that it is not unusual that we would go long before the last day, assuming that is the last day. And I want everybody to get the ramifications of assuming that tomorrow is the last day. We want to get 2 major pieces of legislation done. They're controversial pieces of legislation, we know, but we want to get those done. We're working on that. The other side has gone through that experience themselves, so that members should be on notice that we have an intention to break after this next vote for dinner, subject to an hour's notice to be back here with the expectation there may well be votes this evening. We are hopeful that those votes would be sooner rather than later in terms of going late into the night, and then we would hope to, we'll meet tomorrow at 9 o'clock and hope to complete the remainder of the business that was noted as possible for this week. I yield.
Thank the gentleman for yielding, and as we anticipate possible votes tonight, possible votes tomorrow, the 2 major pieces of legislation that are still out there, and specifically the bill that went before Rules Committee yesterday, roughly 2,500 pages. One of the things we've talked about is, would there be, if that bill were to come to the floor, currently there is no Congressional Budget Office or Joint Committee on Taxation score on those bills. Would there be a score on those bills prior to them coming to the floor for a vote? And I'd yield.
I thank the gentleman for the question, and then we'll conclude. We hope to have not only a JTC score, but also CBO scores. As the gentleman knows, the majority of the overwhelming majority of the bill has been pending for some time. And obviously the CBO has been reviewing the individual items for some time. And we expect to have very close to most of the bill. It does not need a CBO score. It does need a CBO score, however, when it goes to the Senate, as the gentleman knows. And that will be our intention, to have as much information available to members as we have in hand. But we do intend to move forward with the bill. I yield back.
If the gentleman...
I'll yield one more time, and then I will yield back.
On the CBO score, JCT obviously important. I appreciate that the gentleman said there would be a JCT score, but on the CBO score, there have been some significant changes made in the Rules Committee since those CBO conversations. Would that be revised to include the new version of the bill?
We're working on that. We hope that CBO can accommodate that objective. And I yield back the balance of my time.
To Clause 8 of Rule 20.